Hey guys, it's your boy Slosh Tugs coming at you guys with another video. Today, we're gonna be looking at the best and worst movie of every year, guys. And I would like to recommend that you watch this video in 1.5 speed or higher. Let's get straight into it with 1903. So there's only one movie here. It's The Life and Passion of Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. I don't really remember it. Now we go over to 1911, like the pistol. And so for the best, okay, so they're all extremely low ratings. So let's see, which is better, the Colleen Bawn or the hands of in the hands of imposters? Honestly, I think I'll go in the hands of imposters is better. Mostly off the title, because I don't really remember either of them. And then we got Temptations of a Great City, or the Defect. I think Temptations of a Great City is better. So that means that The Defect is the worst movie of 1911. Now we're on to 1912. So the best one is Madeleine, and the worst one is The Mystery of the Rocks of Cador. Yeah, I don't remember either of those. We got 1913. We got The Night Before Christmas with this guy. And so that's the best. Yeah, that one's the best. Then we got, for the worst one, we have which one's worse? The Drama on the Volga or Twilight of a Woman's Soul? Probably, I bet the one on the Volga is better. So the worst one is Twilight of a Woman's Soul. Oh, now we're moving on to 1914, guys. So the best one of 1914 is Zapata's Gang. Yeah. And then the worst one is Blue Blood. That shit is ass. Now we're moving on to 1915. So the best one is the best one Hypocrites or The Girl of the Golden West? I think The Girl of the Golden West is better than Hypocrites. And then for the worst one is After Death. Because I think The Captive is better. Am I just judging that off the poster because I don't remember either of them? Maybe. Okay. 1916. So the best one is Manhattan Madness. And the worst one... So is the worst one Shoes? Is it The Matrimoniac? Or is it... Oh, this one's... The Habit of Happiness is the worst one. It's worse than Shoes and The Matrimoniac. I remember that one was really bad. And I got 1917. So now we have the first positive rating. We have a 3 out of 5 here with the Dying Swan. So that's easily the best. Although there is some other ones. There is Straight Shooting. There is a Satan's Rhapsody, which is a decent 4 out of 10. But the worst one has to go to For Happiness. Um, I don't know what this is, to be honest. A lot of these old movies have similar titles. And we're on to 1918. So best one is Shoulder Arms. Although this is a short film, but it was 2023, so and it is 36 minutes. And then the worst one is I Don't Want to Be a Man. It was like a, a woman like acts like a man and like uh it's like a comedy. It was really bad. And now we're on to 1919. So the best one is When the Clouds Roll By, which was directed by Victor Fleming. I remember this. I remember liking it. And then all the these two are actually pretty good as well. Different from the others, and The Doll. Those are actually both decent. And then the worst one is The Oyster Princess. This shit was terrible. But now we're on to the 20s. So for 1920, the best. Okay, so the best one is either. Let's see. Okay, so this. Okay, the best one is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. But let's not discredit the Golem, how he came into the world, or The Penalty, which I watched this like last month. And yeah, Penalty and Golem are good, but Caligari is a little bit better. And then for the worst one, is it? It's either the Saphead or the Tollgate. I think Tollgate is a little bit better than the Saphead, because it's like a western. Now we got 1921. So the best one is A Sailor Made Man. This one's a Harold Lloyd comedy, and I think it's really underrated. I think it was great. It was actually really funny. And then another good one is Destiny. This one was good too. And then worst one is La Route des Alpes d'Avon à Montpelvox. That was like a top 10 worst movie I've ever seen. It's like barely even a movie. And then I would also like to point out how disappointing the Phantom Carriage was. I thought this shit was gonna be hype because like look at the poster. I mean that's like an incredible poster, and then then like it was really bad though. Probably the most definitely no, it's definitely the most disappointing silent film I've ever seen. And we got 1922. So the best one has gotta be Nosferatu. When it rains, it whores. But there is also Grandma's Boy, a Harold Lloyd comedy. But I think Nosferatu's better, probably. And then the worst one is another Harold Lloyd comedy, Dr. Jack. I think he's a dentist or something in that one. And now we got 1923. So we got number one is Safety Last. That's just that movie is thrilling. And then for the worst, gotta go with The Smiling Madame Bouidoit. Now we got 1924. So the best one is Sherlock Jr. Sherlock Jr. is, you know, an undisputed like top 5 silent film. It's like probably top 3. And then worst one is The Last Laugh. There's some other good ones in 1924 also. Then we got 1925. So this is my favorite silent film. The Unholy Three, 1925. I watched it in Mr. Muhammad's class, and it was a great time. It's an incredible. It's a great time, guys. And then honorable mentions. Honorable mention to The Freshman. I should watch this again. I thought it was really good. And I'd probably rate it higher if I saw it again. And then, but the worst one though. Worst one is Riders of the Purple Sage. I have seen this one twice for some reason, even though I thought it sucked both times. Tartuffe. Now it's time for 1926. So number 1 is The General. A classic Buster Keaton film. And then the worst one, honestly, the worst one is Three Bad Men. That shit was disappointing, considering it was directed by John Ford. And now I got 1927, guys. So we got number 1 for me is The Unknown. Most people would say like Metropolis is better, Sunrise, Song of Two Birds or whatever it's called is better. But I think The Unknown is a top 5 silent film. I think it's great because I like when the silent films get wacky, and this has Lon Chaney in it. He's probably my favorite he's definitely my favorite non-comedy silent film actor. Well, my favorite silent film actors, like top 5 it's gotta go like Buster Keaton, Lon Chaney, Harold Lloyd, throw in Charlie Chaplin, even though he's a pedophile, and yeah, that's about it. But yeah, guys, The Unknown. And then the worst one. What? The worst one is The Three-Sided Mirror. I don't know what the fuck that is, to be honest. I got 1928. So I think the best one is The Circus. It was at a point my favorite silent film, but it got overtaken by The Unholy Three. But yeah, it's thrilling, it's funny, it's engaging, and it's awesome. But honorable mention to The Cameraman. It's just a great one also. Can't go wrong with it. And then the worst one is The Seashell and the Clergyman. That shit was ass. But at least it's not too long. And we got 1929. So these are all silent films still. But sound will be coming soon, guys. The best one is A Cottage on Dartmoor. And the worst one is The Dance of the Paroxysms. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I accidentally watched this shit twice. Yeah. Now we got 1930. We're on to a new decade, guys. So the best one is The Unholy Three. But if you'll notice, this is a remake of The Unholy Three. And if you'll also notice that the silent film is better than the sound one because they rewrote the ending and it's worse. And it's baffling because the ending with the 1925 silent film ending would have been better suited if it had sound in it because it directly involves sound in the climax. But in this one, they changed it and it's just worse. And they did not have to do that. It was set up to be better, and then they just ruined it with the shitty ending. But and also it's really hard to understand this midget here in this movie because his voice is so high and like the audio quality was shitty, and it's pretty difficult to understand Harry Earls in this one. And then the worst one is gotta be Earth. Shit was ass. I got 1931, so the best one has got to be. So is Frankenstein better than Dracula? I think Frankenstein's better. And then is Dracula better than M? I think M is better. So the best one is M, and then the worst one is Little Caesar. Pizza Pizza. And now 1932. So the best one. The best one is it Freaks or is it The Most Dangerous Game? I don't know. This is close. I think Freaks might be a little bit better because it has freaks in it. But it's close. And then the worst one is Scarface. That shit was ass. That shit was boring. And we got 1933. So the best one has got to be Duck Soup. That's pretty self-explanatory. The Invisible Man is decently close. But the worst one. So is the worst one Jungle Bride, or Apart from You, or Sons of the Desert, or Zero for Conduct? I think the worst one here is the worst one for 5 out of 10. It's gotta be Jungle Bride. And then what year is this? 1934. So a pretty shitty year. The best one has gotta be Maniac. And the worst one has gotta be Story of Floating Weeds. It's really overrated. Now I got 1935. The best one is The Bride of Frankenstein. The worst one is The Crime of Dr. Crespi. Because I think he's like a. Is this the one where. No, it's not that one. Okay, I confused these two. The Crime of Dr. Crespi and Maniac. Because they're kind of the same. And then I also confused this with another one that we might see in a second. I don't know. I forgot what it's called, but it's like that one. Let's just go to 1936. So the best one is which one's the best one is probably Modern Times. The worst one is The Only Son, but they're both 7 out of 10. And now we're on to 1937. Best one, Make Way for Tomorrow. It's pretty overrated, but it's fine. And the worst one, it's gotta be Way Out West. I don't I don't really like Laurel and Hardy. I don't think they're funny. 1938. The only one here is The Builders, and it's at 2 out of 10, so it's dog shit. And we got 1939. The best one has gotta be, well, low key. Is it? Okay, so I think Wizard of Oz is probably a little bit better than The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but they're both great. Both great. Low key. Hmm. This is a thinker. You know. Low key, I'm gonna say Hunchback of Notre Dame is better than Wizard of Oz. Not gonna lie. And then the worst one, I watched this like a few days ago. Only Angels Have Wings. That's good. Now we're on to 1940, guys. So, I'd say the best one is The Great Dictator. And then the worst one is The Ape. So this is another one I confused with the Maniac and The Crimes of Dr. Crespi. And yeah, there's still another one there. It also involves a monkey. But yeah, The Ape was disappointing as fuck. And I think it definitely blows balls. And then we got 1941. Best one. I'd say the best one is Buck Privates, but Sullivan's Travels is up there also. And then notice how Citizen Kane is worse than both of those. And then the worst one is The Wolfman. Although it does have really good, like, the Wolfman looks really good, especially with like the smoke. And then 1942, best one is Who Done It, and this movie is overrated as hell. To be or not to be, but the worst one is gotta be Casablanca. I doubt it's that bad, but I mean, I was so bored when I watched it. I should probably watch that again, though. I'll give it another shot. But 1943, best one is Riders of the Northwest Mounted. This one's really good. No one's seen it though. Only 13 people have seen it on this app. But yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, it was good action, good drama. And then the worst one has gotta be Nazi Nuisance. Although it's decent though, it's pretty good. And then 1944. Is this it? No. The best one is Double Indemnity by far. And then the worst one is The Mummy's Curse. And there's a lot of just like movies that I just confused with like Maniac. So there's like Maniac, Bluebeard, The Ape, Crimes of Dr. Crespi, and there's another one that I don't think we've seen yet. But it's right with those ones. And then 1945. So number one, we got the best one. We have The Lost Weekend. I actually watched this today. It's a great film, guys. And then worst one, probably the Naughty 90s, but it could be The Fatal Witness also. But I think Naughty 90s is probably worse, but it's not bad. I got 1946. Best one is A Day in the Country. Notice how A Matter of Life and Death isn't there because I thought that was really, really, really boring. And then the worst one is The Notorious. I think I watched that like this month. Yeah, I watched that a few days ago. It was disappointing. It was pretty boring. So no films in 1947. And then but 1948 best one. So I'll knock out Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. I'll check. Here, I'll check this. So that one's at 41. I think this one's lower. Yeah, this one's lower. So number one of 1948, I'm gonna go with The Treasure of the Sahara Madre, and then the worst one. I gotta go He Walked by Night, but it's pretty good also. And I'm gonna go till 19. I'll go till 1959. It is 2:43 a.m. Now I got 1949. The best one is The Third Man. Just a great third act, guys. Just look at that picture right there, guys. And then the worst one is I Shot Just James. It's good. It's good though. And then 1950, guys. We are on to the 1950s. Best one. Which one's better, Rashomon? Well, why? I think Wagon Master is a little bit better, but it's very close. And then the worst one, I gotta go with the Killer That Stalked New York. You'd think it'd be like a thriller, but it's actually just about like a disease. It's about like an AIDS outbreak or something, which is pretty bad. And then 1951, the best one is The Steel Helmet, directed by what's his name? Well, now we gotta sit and wait. Samuel Fuller. Okay. Yeah. And then the worst one. Or the worst one has gotta be Superman and the Mole Men. Cause like, come on. That shit was pretty bad. That shit was stupid. Well, if I'm being honest though, I would. Alright. If I'm being honest though, I'd rather watch Superman and the Mole Men than watch Alice in Wonderland. And I don't think I haven't seen that movie in like since like 5th grade. But so honestly, just we can put Alice in Wonderland as the worst for 1951. And then 1952, best one is Singing in the Rain. Worst one is Fear and Desire, directed by Stanley Kubrick. Wasn't good. I got 1953. I think the best one. I think the Big Heat is better than Pickup on South Street. So that's the best. Big Heat is the best one, and then the worst one. Okay, I'm gonna check this because I'm not sure. Is White Mane? Did I like White Mane? more than gentlemen prefer blondes, guys. Okay, so this one was 427, and the white man was 429. So that means that like gentlemen prefer blondes more. So the worst one was a white mane, but I think white mane is good. It tells an emotional story about a boy and his horse, guys. And there's also a lot of there's like horse fighting, and it was cool. And then 1954, best one is definitely gotta be Seven Samurai. Worst one gotta be Animal Farm. I thought I would like this. It's about it's about like pigs and they're like Nazis, but it was so boring. And then 1955. So best one has gotta be The Night of the Hunter. Just like a classic, guy. And the worst one, it's gotta be Dementia. Well, what? Yeah, I was thinking of something else. Wait, what? Okay, worst one is Alias John Preston, because Dementia was actually really well made. Then we got 1956. Worst one is The Killing, directed by Stanley Kubrick. And I should rewatch that though. And then the best one is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's a great thriller, guys. I got 1957. So we have two 10 out of 10s on this one, guys. But I think Witness for the prosecution is better than 12 Angry Men. No, you can fight me. Well, you can fight me. They're both courtroom. Well, one of them's in a jury room and the other one's in courtroom. But they're both masterpieces in their own way. But I haven't seen 12 Angry Men since 2023, and I saw Witness for the Prosecution like 2 months ago. So that kind of gives it the edge. But I mean, Witness for the Prosecution, top 5 ending of all time, guys. And then, let's see, honorable mention to The Incredible Shrinking Man, though. And then the worst one is Sweet Smell of Success, guys. I was disappointed. I really just did not like this fucking movie, guys. I thought very underrated. Not underrated, really overrated. And now we're gearing up for our last 2 years. So we got 1958. So the best one is Touch of Evil. And the worst one is Vertigo. This movie is Vertigo is so overrated. Vertigo fucking sucks. Well, then it's bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty bad. It's so boring. And then we got 1959. So number 1 is The Human Condition Part 1. That's like a top 10 movie. And then, but honorable mention to Human Condition Part 2 and Some Like It Hot. And No Name on the Bullet. And Guns, Girls, and Gangsters. This one's really underrated also. Only 647 people have watched it on this app. It is so underrated. And then, shout out to Bucket of Blood. I want to rewatch that even though I only saw it like a few months ago. But worst one, I think There Will Be No End or whatever. There Will Be No Leave Today is better than The Hound of the Baskervilles. Personally, guys. So that's gonna wrap it for today's video, guys. I'll probably make a part 2 like sometime soon.